hard work that goes into it.
Our #1 goal is to win a championship, and that's it. We're not trying to be contenders. We want to win it all.
On a frigid 23-degree day in New England, no additional snow in sight as the Lakers make their first visit to TD Garden since playing the Celtics in the NBA Finals last June. It's one of the epic rivalries in the history of the league. And the NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Kobe Bryant and his defending champion Los Angeles Lakers facing the team with the best record in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics, in Game 1 of our Thursday night doubleheader. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with two of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the NBA. Now, not naming any names, but one of the two could be nudged aside in terms of the NBA record book. This is Steve Kerr. That is Reggie Miller. Will be joined momentarily by Craig Sager. That is 10-time All-Star Ray Allen, who comes into tonight with 2,559 three-point field goals, one away from tying Reggie's remarkable all-time record, two away from breaking it. If we look at the starting lineups, Lakers 36-16. They've won the first two on the 7-game road trip. It's their customary starting lineup: Pau Gasol, Ron Artest, Andrew Bynum up front, Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant. In the backcourt, the Celtics 38-13, but hard hit by injuries. They have their starting five intact, although Paul Pierce is playing through the flu, so we'll be staying away from Paul throughout the night. The official: Scott Foster, Derek Collins, and Scott Wall. Capacity crowd, 18,000 plus on hand as they open up here on the parquet with the Celtics controlling Boston's last game this past Monday night. Lost to Charlotte. Celtics looking a bit weary with tired legs. They shot just 40% from the field. While for the Bobcats, a terrific win as Ray Allen opens up with a two-point attempt, rebounded by Pau Gasol.
Looks a little strange out here with the yellow jerseys. The Lakers going with the retro style. Boston also the retro jerseys, but we're so accustomed to that forum blue, as Chick Hearn used to call it.
Something that's going to be interesting to see with Kobe Bryant guarding Rondo. A lot of space between that. Fisher's going to have a night full of work trying to run with Ray Allen off those screens.
And that will count off the miss by Bryant. Bynum with the putback. The Lakers' last game this past Monday in Memphis, they beat the Grizzlies 93-84. Kobe did not have one of his stronger games, just 6 of 17 with 19 points, 6 turnovers. Rondo wide open, yes.
Lakers are going to give him that shot throughout the night. Basically in the half court, Lakers are going to play 5-on-4. They're going to let Rondo shoot. As long as he's not penetrating and creating, I think they're willing to live with that shot.
The Lakers just 3-3 over the last 6 games. Here is Artest, who has had a rocky season. It's run down by Gasol. Nice save by Fisher.
Garnett mistimed his jump on that rebound, allowing Pau Gasol to get in behind him.
Gasol set up by Bryant.
I think the Lakers are primed to come in here and win tonight. You know, they're struggling against the elite teams this year. They need a statement win. Meanwhile, Boston banged up, as you mentioned, Marv. I think the Lakers are really ready to come in here and play a good game.
Doc Rivers' team very thin. They have 10 available players. Allen, again, a two-pointer.
And if you're Derek Fisher, we talked about having a long night chasing Ray Allen off these screens. What did Phil Jackson say? He's a bigger point guard than you think. He could be able to stay with Ray Allen, but Ray Allen has such a quick trigger on that shot.
And really the reason for that switch and that cross match is Phil Jackson doesn't want Kobe chasing Ray Allen around. We're going to see a turnover from Bynum. But with Kobe, you know, defensively, he's much better on the ball than he is away from the ball.
And in help defense as well.
Bynum stepping out of bounds as he tried to set up down low. Here is Pierce. Good box out by Gasol. Bynum working on Perkins. Garnett with the rebound. Oh, Perkins not expecting that pass. Kendrick Perkins back after the knee surgery, torn ligaments in his right knee. That injury taking place actually in the NBA Finals in Game 6 last June. Rondo gets it to Garnett. Tough angle shot. Artest with the rebound.
Now, Marv, you talk about that injury. I think Celtic fans will always wonder what would have happened if Perkins had been available in Game 7. Garnett will get called for the goaltend. Remember, he was hurt in Game 6. Lakers blew out Boston in that game. Game 7, LA could not buy a shot. They ended up getting 23 offensive boards, 9 for Pau Gasol. And Celtic fans will always think about what might have been had Perkins been there to secure those rebounds.
Doc Rivers saying that he told Perkins, we know the injury will not hurt your speed. Ray Allen. That's his second two-point field goal.
You know, I tell people at 35 to still be considered the best shooter in this game. It just shows you how much he has kept his body in shape over the years.
Whoa, Gasol with a rainbow. Perkins nearly inadvertently tipped it in, and then it's knocked out of bounds by Artest.
When you talk about coming off screens, I don't think there's anyone better in the game today than Ray Allen. Being able to set up your man, use your bigs, rubbing off screens, wide open 18-footer for Ray Allen.
Allen setting the screen. Allen giving Fisher a workout as he cuts to the far side. Allen continuing to run the floor, reminiscent of as Garnett is able to hit. The fellow sitting to our right.
Yeah, Reggie was the best ever at that. And it looks to me like Doc Rivers is trying to get Ray Allen going early on some easier 18-footers before he has to take a three.
Pau Gasol playing very aggressively, had a season-high 34 points on 13 of 17 shooting the other day, plus 10 rebounds. That's deflected out, last touch by the Lakers. And Kobe Bryant, as we know, a ardent movie fan, told Pau, you got to play like the Black Swan, not the White Swan.
Well, he wants them to be tougher,
right,
and take tougher shots, be aggressive at both ends of the floor, and a lot like Kobe. Kobe's the Black Swan.
I thought he was the Black Mamba.
Well, he's a little bit of both, isn't he?
It's so confusing. Here's Allen for three. So that rims out.
You can hear the crowd, the anticipation, man. They can't wait for Ray to break this record.
Neither can I.
Bite him on the stuff. I saw Reggie rise up as that shot was released.
Hey, history is being made tonight. I'm a fan of the game.
I love what Charles was talking about in the pregame show, the fact that you guys are like 800 ahead of Jason Kidd, who's in third. It's really a remarkable feat.
Garnett. It'll fade away by Garnett. For Ray Allen, it all began back on November 1st, 1996, as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Game in Philadelphia, Ray hitting 2 of his first 3 three-pointers. And that's a jump ball. And some of the milestones along the way for Ray Allen on the way to the huge number.
You know, it's just been consistency. Hasn't taken a lot of games off, hasn't been hurt, and a lot of that goes into when you're breaking records when it comes to longevity. It's health, but let's face it, he's a knockdown shooter as well.
And, you know, during his prime, he made a lot off the dribble as well. He's become more of a spot-up guy and a guy off of screens. But in Seattle, remember, he used to come off high pick and rolls, shoot him off the dribble.
Shot clock to 5. Down to 3. Gasol over Garnett. Rebounded by Pierce.
And how good is Kevin Garnett defensively? Guy can do it all.
Rondo gets it down low. And Perkins is fouled. It's tough pass for Perkins to handle, so could not go up with it immediately. Artest on the foul as we take a look at the upcoming national television schedule. ESPN Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. These Lakers will play the Knicks at the Garden. Phoenix at Utah. Ty Corbin will make his debut as the head coach of the Jazz, and that stunning development earlier today, the announcement that Jerry Sloan had resigned after 23 years. Incredible, as head coach of Utah. ABC Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Miami at Boston, and the Lakers playing the Magic in Orlando.
I think it's a sad day in the NBA. I mean, you think of everything that Jerry Sloan has accomplished and everything that he stands for as a coach and the stability of that franchise. I think it's very sad to see him not be a part of this league anymore.
Well, I hope he gets the appreciation, you know, for a guy that's been head coach for 23 years, never to win Coach of the Year, which I cannot understand.
Yeah.
All the championship caliber teams he's had in Utah, and to never win Coach of the Year, it's beyond imaginable.
But you know how that works. It's usually the coach who comes up with a surprising team. Even Phil Jackson won, what, one time?
Yeah, in many ways, him not winning Coach of the Year is a sign of his consistency with the team, because all they did was just win 50 games every season.
Foul committed by Pierce, just under 6.
Welcome back to Boston. The Celtics lead by 2, and Ray Allen remains 1 3-point field goal away from tying Reggie Miller's all-time record. The anticipation certainly is here. His mother is here, Flo Allen Hobson, but then again, she's always here. She says she hasn't missed a game in 15 years. His wife Shannon is here, their 4 children. He's also wearing a special pair of shoes, modified after the Jordan 13s, wearing them for the first time tonight with an Egyptian saying that says Maktub on the side. It means it is written. It is written in history to be recorded in the archives. After the game tonight, if he breaks it, it will be sent to the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts, next to a plaque with his name alongside Reggie Miller's.
All right, thank you, Craig. Play back in, Pierce on a spinner, and it's rebounded by Bryant. Glenn Big Baby Davis has come on for Kendrick Perkins. 2-point lead for the Celtics. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager from TD Garden in Boston. Fisher tripped up. Foul committed by Rondo. I mentioned the Celtics have been clobbered by injuries. Kendrick Perkins is back. Delonte West should return sometime after the All-Star break with a broken wrist. Jermaine O'Neal, well, they hope to have him for the playoffs. Shaq's missed the last 4 games. Rajon Rondo has been out. It just goes on and on. Marquise Daniels with that spinal cord injury, a scary injury, suffered Sunday against Orlando. The basket counts. Bynum to the line. The foul committed by Davis.
And Boston's basically without a backup 3 and a backup 5 tonight, and that's going to be an issue, particularly if the Lakers go big. Von Wafer will come in place of Paul Pierce and Allen at times, but Doc Rivers concerned about the size matchup at that position.
Yeah, but if you're Phil Jackson, that's exactly where you have to attack, is in the middle. You've got the size. You know, so much talk going on with the Lakers and them somewhat entering the Carmelo sweepstakes, and there's so much talk on talk radio and so forth.
Although we asked Phil Jackson about it, and he said, as others with the Laker organization have said, there is no truth at all to any interest in Carmelo Anthony involved with a Bynum deal. Fisher was caught on that foul, and now Pierce is fouled. Kobe Bryant picks up his first. The trade deadline is February the 24th. Now Pierce to the line to shoot 2. Now yesterday, Carmelo Anthony said if he's not traded by that deadline, he'd consider re-signing an extension with Denver, 3-year, $65 million. Now, is that a message to the Knicks to come up with a better offer? I don't know if they're capable of a better offer with their roster, even with another team involved. Are the Nets really out of the mix? They probably had the most attractive offer, and the Lakers, as I said, claim they have no interest in that report. Why would they give up their big front line, which is the advantage they have, particularly when it comes to the playoffs?
I don't think they would. I mean, it'd be so difficult to incorporate Carmelo Anthony as you see turnover from Artest. But can you imagine trying to incorporate Carmelo into the triangle with Kobe, and now if you're the Lakers, you only have one big guy on the roster with Pau Gasol. You'd be way undersized. I don't think they'd be capable of winning a title this season.
I think offensively it would be a quick fix, but if you're looking at the bigger picture, if they potentially have to go against Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, you need size to go against Shaq and Jermaine and Kendrick Perkins.
Allen for three. Yes! There we go. Ray Allen has tied Reggie Miller's record. There's Fisher back with a three. Back comes Pierce around the feet here in Boston. Allen for the record. Artest 1-on-2. Reggie, all right?
He almost knocked me over.
And we hear a chant of Reggie. The Miller family is here. With the stuff.
I'm excited just like the rest of the 18,000 here.
That was cool. Did you see Ray's reaction?
I saw his eyes too.
He was so excited. You rarely see emotion out of Ray, but he was fired up when he made that one.
3-point lead for Boston, and the outside official, Scott Foster, indicating an elbow foul. Artest picks up his second.
Derek Fisher just a little bit late, rotating out from that dig position on Kevin Garnett. That's something that's been constant over his 15-year career. Balance, follow through, and arc.
And now they correct the foul. They say not Artest, it's on Gasol, who does not like the call. As Pau sits down, that was his first foul. So Lamar Odom has come on for Pau Gasol. He leads with 3 field goals, 3 of 5 from the field, 6 points and 4 rebounds.
And a good start for both Gasol and Andrew Bynum. I think those two guys are always the key in this matchup as Allen drops in the two-pointer. But to me, when the Lakers bigs play aggressively and strong and pound Boston inside, that's when they win. When Boston wins that matchup, it's too difficult.
Bynum called for the offensive foul. The charging foul on Andrew Bynum. Just under 3 to go in this opening quarter. Good start for the Celtics. There's Ray Allen from straight away. And that ties Reggie Miller for most three-pointers.
Ray Allen off to the hot start here in the first period. And for those of you who are scoring at home, this is a long deuce, not the record breaker. But Ray Allen tonight already 4-7 from the field, 9 points. Hot start for the Celtics, who are shorthanded.
So you're telling us he has only 2,560 three-pointers.
He needs to get in the gym. He needs to work on his game a little bit, Steve. Guy's a slacker.
Steve Blake has come on from the Lakers along with Shannon Brown. So Kobe Bryant moves up front. Paul Pierce sitting down. Von Wafer has checked in. Bryant now defending on Allen. Rondo gets it down low. Perkins is rejected emphatically by Bynum.
I'm impressed with Bynum's play so far. He's gotten off to the quick start, and Lakers have kept Boston out of the paint. They don't have a bucket in the lane yet. In fact, it's 12-0 in advantage of LA. So Lakers doing a nice job. Boston, though, knocking down jump shots.
Here's Allen for 3. Rebounded by Blake. And the foul is called on the Celtics. It is on Allen. Ray is now 1 of 4 from beyond the three-point line.
Now, when these guys met 2 weeks ago, Ray Allen picked up 2 quick ones, and then Kobe also picked up 2 quick fouls. So both players spent much of the latter part of the first quarter on the bench, and then they eventually both got going. Kobe ended up with, 41, 42 points in that game.
Equaled a season high. Phil Jackson said it was an embarrassing performance, particularly in the fourth quarter, by the Lakers. Celtics shooting 60% from the field. Odom was stripped. Here comes Wafer, and Brown knocked it away.
It'll be Boston ball.
I think that game, you mentioned that fourth quarter, Marvin, that was an example of how unified Boston is at both ends of the court. What an incredible balance they have as a team, and what happens when they take the Laker bigs out of the action. Then it becomes a one-man show for the Lakers, and LA can't win that way.
Celtics at 34 assists on 44 field goals in that game 2 weeks ago. Bad play by Brown as he lost it. Rondo sets it up. Here's Allen with a deep three. Yes! 2,561. And that is the NBA record. Loose ball foul is called. As Bynum and Perkins came together, the ovation continues for Ray Allen. Breaking Reggie's NBA career record. 2.561 from downtown. And here is Ray over to the table. He and Reggie congratulating each other. That's nice.
I got chills right now. This is an amazing moment, and Reggie, it's got to be a little emotional for you.
It just shows you. People ask me, you've got to be a little bit upset or bitter. Why? Because first of all records are made to be broken. And I shared a conversation with Ray earlier tonight. He's like, when I was a rookie and I came to Market Square Arena and I saw you in there 3.5 hours before shooting, he says, that's how I wanted to pat my game. And I'm just so happy for him because this is one of the best guys. He's so humble. He's so giving. He's a great family man. And I'm excited. This is great. This is great for the game of basketball because you know why? We're focusing and talking about shooting, Steve. And we know how many hours we had keys to the gym when we'd go early and we'd work on our... No one talks about shooting anymore.
And you're right. It couldn't happen to a better guy than Ray Allen.
Bynum comes up short. Odom is blocked. Odom again banks it home. And you and Ray could have been teammates battling it out here in Boston. I recall Danny Ainge and Doc Rivers a couple of years back trying to convince you to sign with the Celtics. You were what, 42? Yep. And,
42, too old.
He viewed it as, Danny Ainge viewed it as Rondo with a beautiful move. He saw it as an instant offense and a missing piece for the Celtics at that time.
I seriously considered it. I went into the gym for about a month and worked out with Mark Jackson as well as Kevin Garnett, who was a neighbor of mine in Malibu. I just couldn't get it going. And plus, 18 years being in Indiana, I don't know if I wanted to wear another jersey.
Well, I know actually you stay with us at TNT as Kobe gets inside for the per diem and for the quality time that you were able to spend with all of us.
It was worth it.
27-20 Boston, final seconds, first quarter. 1 second differential. Wafer waved off, will not count.
That's the end of the first quarter.
So that is the end of the first quarter. Apparently they are putting 3/10 of a second back on the clock. So this would have to be a guided or deflected shot. It would have to be a fling that is guided. That will not happen. So that now is the end of the first quarter. Celtics for the 27-20 lead. A look at Ray Allen through the years, member of the Milwaukee Bucks, Seattle Sonics, and now the Boston Celtics. shooting a career best 46% from three-point land.
And Reggie, you talked about it. The fact that he's having a career season at age 35 is a testament to his conditioning, to the work ethic, and I think also to the Celtics team, because this is a club that is so unselfish and they execute so well offensively together. I think the looks Ray Allen is getting this season are probably as good as any he's gotten throughout his career.
Memorable moments here in Boston. They've had a few in this city.
And I'm not quite sure anyone's ever going to come close to whenever he does retire in his record. Because, you know, we talked about this. Not only do you have to be a great shooter, but you're going to have longevity and health. And that's something both Ray and I had throughout our careers. We pretty much stayed healthy for a long period of time, but by the time it's all said and done, I don't know if anyone's going to come close to that.
He's got some years left.
Yes, he does.
Here is Davis, Big Baby Davis able to knock it down. Nate Robinson has come on for Ray Allen with the second quarter getting underway. Remember about a year ago, though, there was speculation that Celtic president Danny Ainge might look to trade Ray. There were some question marks. Our test with the basket and the foul. As many a general manager has said, as you look at Danny Ainge, some of the best trades are the ones you don't make.
I'm trying to remember what the rumors were. A year ago, Boston was talked about in terms of moving.
Well, it's a lot like, you know, what the Lakers and the rumors out there for Carmelo Anthony. I think Mitch Kupchak trying to, you know, light a spark under his team. Maybe Danny Ainge was thinking the same. You know, remember, this Boston Celtic team went, what, 27 and 27 the rest of the way after getting off to that quick start.
Pierce dishing to Davis. It counts and the foul.
Well, Marv, you talked about the last meeting between these two clubs. Boston had 34 assists on 44 field goals, and they're starting to carve up that Laker defense now. 8 assists on 12 hoops. They're shooting 57%. The ball's moving side to side. They're getting penetration, and everybody's starting to chip in and score. And this is why Boston is the most efficient offensive team in the NBA as you look at the numbers from that last game. How about 60% shooting? That's why Phil Jackson called it an embarrassment for the Lakers.
And the Celtics allow just 91 points a game. That's the best defensive record in the league. Gasol off the front rim. They allow only 44% shooting, which is third in the league. Pierce rebounded by Gasol.
Well, you see the difference here. The Boston bigs are getting everything at the rim, where Pau Gasol is trying to knock down Lamar Odom.
Robinson with the feed. Wafer with the finish, and he's fouled by Blake.
And the entire Boston bench stands up and points at Nate Robinson, who isn't known for this kind of play, but he really patiently waits for Wafer to break free, finds him on the angle, and the Celtics really clicking here.
You know, you talk about all the injuries that the Celtics. Let's give a lot of credit to Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that's no excuse. We don't care if you're suiting up tonight. If we have only 8, 9, 10 guys, we're going to play with what we have. He comes up with matchups, and he finds the way to win ball games.
Steve Blake with 3 fouls within 4 minutes, so he takes a seat. Odom. And a loose ball foul is called on the Lakers.
Back-to-back bad plays by Lamar Odom, really forcing the action at the offensive end.
I think this is what happens when Kobe Bryant goes to the bench against Boston. The Lakers struggle to score, and they absolutely have to get offense through Odom and Gasol. Odom maybe pressing a little bit, trying to force the action.
Odom called for the foul. 13 foul on the Lakers. And now the foul is called on Perkins.
Have you ever seen Kendrick Perkins called for a foul where he nods to the official and says, yep, good call?
We talked about the injuries suffered by Perkins. You see Perkins stepping into our test. And Doc Rivers wanted to put him on a minute restriction. But in each of the past 3 games, he said he's had a play. He's played 30+ each game.
They're so short-handed. It was funny, his first game back, Perkins said he tried to pick up a technical just to show to his teammates that he was ready and that he was back. Officials wouldn't give him one.
Brown for 3, yes. Shannon Brown. Lakers now down by 10. 2.5 gone by. Second quarter here in Boston. First of our TNT doubleheader. Second game, Dallas going up against Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets. Dallas red hot. They have won 10 straight games. Nice pass. Wafer, a one-time Laker draft pick, getting it down low to Perkins.
These are big minutes for Wafer. You know, with the injury to Marquise Daniels, no telling if he'll be back at all this season. And Delonte West probably a couple weeks away. So Wafer is going to be counted on here if he can play well. Huge boost for Boston.
A lot of one-on-one on the part of the Lakers. That was deflected out. Last touch by Boston.
The ball movement and the people movement is why we're scoring. We got to get second. We can't let them get second shots. Drive them off. They're going over your back, but we got to make contact. All right? They will go over your back. It's guaranteed. All right? Let's go.
That's good.
And they're up by 12.
Yeah.
The ball movement and the people movement is why we're scoring. We got to get second. We can't let them get second shots. Drive them off. They're going over your back, but we got to make contact. All right? They will go over your back. It's guaranteed. All right? Let's go.
Well, rebounding always an issue for Boston. If there is a weakness with this club, it's that they are vulnerable on the glass, and particularly against the Lakers. Gasol and Bynum so long. So you heard Doc Rivers telling his team, get a body on those guys because you know those long arms are coming over the top.
But don't you think the rebounding numbers are skewed, particularly at the offensive end, by the fact that the Celtics shoot 50% from the field?
Yeah, if you look at total rebounds, yes, those numbers are definitely skewed. And Lakers, or the Boston Celtics, do not go after the offensive glass. I think we're going to see a Boston foul here. They're dead last in offensive rebounding, but that's actually by design because they're so concerned with transition defense. They don't bother with the offensive glass. If you look at rebound percentage, which is actually the best way to look at it, they're not last. They're not great. They're kind of in the middle of the pack.
Robinson committing the foul with Brown in the act of shooting a 3. So 3 free throws for Shannon Brown. Boston up by 10. You can watch your favorite team at home, on the road, anywhere with NBA League Pass. Sign up now for a special half-season offer. Call your local cable, satellite, or telco provider today, or you can log on to nba.com/League Pass. For the Celtics, game 1 of a 3-game homestand. They're in a stretch playing 5 of 6 at home. They are 38-13. That's the best record in the East. Here's Wafer for 3. Von Wafer, originally a second-round draft pick of the Lakers 5 years ago, played in Greece last season after spending time with the Lakers, Clippers, Denver, Portland, and Houston.
And Nate Robinson just got hurt and limped to the locker room. So Rondo is checking back into the game here for Boston.
Yeah, I think he got hurt when he was came down on Shannon Brown's foot when he got fouled on that three-point. When he fouled on a three-point shot.
That's just what the Celtics need. Yet another injured player.
Get ready, Steve.
I like the way he shifted it to you. Here's Brown and an offensive foul on the Lakers.
Meanwhile, Lakers with Blake having 3 fouls. Lakers have gone to this big lineup, and I think this is what Doc Rivers was concerned about, because now you may see Von Wafer guarding Kobe, and we'll see if the Lakers try to take advantage there.
Shannon Brown committing that Los Angeles foul. 40-28. Celtics off to the good start. Wafer got the step on Brown. Davis rebounded by Perkins. Wafer wide open. And it's handled by Artest.
Wafer's got a little bounce in his step. He's feeling pretty good right now after those couple good plays he made.
Artest for 3.
If you're the Lakers, you can get that shot any time. When you have this size on the floor, how about trying to pound the ball into Pau Gasol a little bit?
Here is Pierce. Paul Pierce with his first field goal. How about the Lakers? They've had 27 shot attempts, only 2 to this point by Kobe Bryant. Gasol fumbles, recovers, and scores. Didn't look pretty. He thought he was fouled.
Now, when you play against Boston, you know they're going to zone up on the strong side of the floor. So the key for the Lakers is to swing that ball in the triangle, get the ball to the weak side, make the Boston defense move. Lakers have not done that to this point.
Davis rejected by Odom. And Odom goes all the way. Rebounded by Perkins. Lakers get back. Pierce for 3. Way off. And he's been off. 1 of 5 from the field. Playing through a bout with the flu. Beautiful pass from Bryant, but the rejection. What a play.
How about the minutes off the bench for Von Wafer, offensively and defensively? You've got to get back in transition. Kobe Bryant does a good job of finding Ron.
On a 21-degree night, we welcome you back to Boston, Massachusetts. Coming this March, the NCAA tournament will come to you nationally from the team of networks, TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV. March Madness beginning Tuesday, March 15th, with the first 4 on True TV. Once again, Brian gives it up to Luke Walton, who just checked in. Rebounded by Garnett. So Garnett and Allen have returned for Boston. Terrific shooting start for Ray Allen. Perkins is blocked and a foul. It is on Bynum. Ray Allen, 5 of 9 overall, 12 points, 2 of 5 from downtown, including the 2 3-pointers to pass by Reggie Miller. 2,561 career threes, a new NBA record.
That's a lot of time in the gym. It's coming early, staying late. You know, I tell people, when I passed Dale Ellis in 1998, you know, people can't forget what a great shooter he was. And now Ray Allen sits atop all of us.
So you have that record since '98?
He and I were going back in March and April, back and forth, and I finally got it in '98 in April for good. Until
for 13 years.
until
Lob pass attempted, leading to the foul call. But I recall you talk about Ray putting the time in. You used to be there hours beforehand. This is at, as you see, just about 4:30 this afternoon for an 8:15 game. And you'd get there, as I remember, you wouldn't talk to anybody, which was annoying, but you know, well, kind of look over to the broadcast table and
much nicer
scoff.
guy now.
Yeah, he'd scoff. You know.
Look, 8:15 tip tonight. Ray Allen shooting as the steal by the Boston Celtics.
Allen puts it down. Reggie would make believe we weren't there, you know.
I was in my own world.
Bynum with a series of moves called for a 3-second violation.
And people wondering, why does Ray get to the gym so early? It's all about solitude. You can get to your spots where you're going to get the ball. As Ray Allen, you see the finish in the open court. And where I adopted that from was coming to the old Boston Garden and watching another legend from here, Larry Bird. And that's where I adopted a lot of my workouts, coming early, just me, the ball, in the gym, and a ball boy.
And I asked this question to both of you. Steve, I know you put a lot of time in. You get to the arena early. Could you tell if you were having a particular hot shooting performance in the early going?
Like
would that lead?
You mean in warm-ups?
In warm-ups. Would that necessarily lead? You felt, hey, this is going to be a good night?
No.
Would not. How about if it was a really bad performance?
Then I would have a really good game.
I agree with that. I don't think warm-ups tell you anything, and the great shooters usually shoot great in warm-ups.
Right.
Like if nobody's guarding you,
you're supposed to make.
You're supposed to make them.
No, it's more about getting it into a routine. And I hope there's an 8 or 9-year-old in Iowa, in New York City, in California, in Seattle that is watching tonight's game saying, if I want to become great, a great shooter like Ray Allen, I'm going to have to put the time in.
Nice move by Bynum going right at Perkins.
The Lakers have to have more of that. They started out this game so well on the inside, really pounding Boston. They've gotten away from that partly because they can't make an outside shot, so Boston just packing the lane defensively.
And Kobe, a very low-key start. He's attempted only 3 shots. Wafer with another beautiful move. Von Wafer has played 11 minutes. He's 3 of 4 from the field. He has 8 points.
Well, let's see in the last 4 minutes if Kobe Bryant can try to get something going offensively.
Well, he sets it up for Gasol. And Powell is fouled. Both Garnett and Allen raise their hands.
They both want it.
Let's go to Craig.
Well, Marv, Nate Robinson has a bruised right knee. He was evaluated. There appears to be no structural damage, but he is still in pain, and he wants to be reevaluated by Dr. Brian McKeon at halftime. So right now he won't be back until possibly the third quarter. We'll have to see what the evaluation is at halftime from Dr. McKeon.
Well, if Nate Robinson's not able to go, Doc Rivers down to 9 available players. Incidentally, that foul was charged to Garnett.
And there's Avery Bradley, who would be the backup point guard to Rondo in case anything happens. Bradley, just 1 year at Texas before coming out early. Not ready. He's a guy with potential. Great athleticism, and Boston's very high on him. He's not ready to play in a game like tonight.
He's more of a defender and a scoring point guard, but had some good games down in the D-League. But at this level, maybe Doc Rivers is going to have to trust him in a game like this.
Here's Garnett. Yes. Avery Bradley was a first-round draft pick. And Reggie, as you mentioned, played in the D-League. He was with the Maine Red Claws in the D-League.
One of the great names
yes.
in the D-League.
Averaging 17 a game. Good recovery there by Rondo. Here's Gasol with the driving hook.
And that's where Gasol's at his best, when he's on the move. When he has to post up for any length of time against these Boston bigs, he gets out muscled. And you can get him on the move, then his talent comes into play. He can get a rhythm.
Shannon Brown off the steal. Let's see how he plays it. Yes, he does. And here's it from the crowd.
Just like I used to do it. I remember those days. How about Shannon? He has his choice of what he wants to do when he gets to midair. That guy just flies.
A runner by Rondo. Rebounded by Bynum. For the Lakers, it is game 2 of a 7-game, 13-day road trip with Staples Center setting things up for Sunday night's Grammy Awards. Foul is called on Garnett. He thought it was a clean block on Bynum, but Bynum will head to the line when we come back following this timeout.
Now, Shannon Brown doing what he does best, just skyrocketing to the
Stop by your local DJs for a free 60-day pass today. TD Bank and Boston Celtics would like to welcome the kids from the Walpole Youth Basketball League. They're sitting in section 16 as the TD Bank kids clubhouse guest for tonight's game.
Well, in Los Angeles, there has been some concern about the Lakers' play against the top teams in the league. As you can see, the composite is 1 up and 6 down.
And a couple of embarrassing ones. The Christmas Day debacle against Miami when the Heat just went into Staples and blew them out. And then the Boston game a couple weeks ago where Celtics really dismantled them in the fourth quarter. I sensed, being around the Lakers a little bit today at the hotel, I just kind of sensed that there was a resolve about them tonight, that this was a little bit bigger game than it normally would be.
What are you doing in their room?
I was hanging out,
going
Kobe.
to lunch with them? Nice.
Room service with Kobe.
Thanks for the
Reggie,
call.
this is a problem we've had around hotels. The team stays at the same hotel that the TNT staff does. Steve tries to walk the halls and sense what the resolve of the team is.
Try to put my work in early.
Yeah, checks the food
any way I
trays.
can. Any way I can.
Checks out room service. Foul is called on Wafer. Incidentally, this is game 3 of the 7-game road trip. I said game 2. It's game 3 with the Grammys to take place at Staples on Sunday, with the Lakers having already won at Memphis and New Orleans, and they have the Knicks in New York tomorrow. Right here, let's check in with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Ernie. Now, Steve, what did the Bellman say about Derek character earlier?
He said that he showed this incredible, intense look on his face all afternoon.
Rondo wide open. Rebounded by Bynum with 1.5 minutes left in this first half.
Well, really at both ends of the floor for the Lakers, there's been a sense of purpose. Executing hard at the offensive end and only allowing jump shots at the defensive end.
Shot clock down to 4. Fisher with the pull-up, yes. 10-0 run by the Lakers. Celtics at one point led by as many as 15. The lead is down to 5.
Lakers starting to execute offensively. The ball's moving. They got a little rhythm. Ray Allen can't get the shot to go, and you can see the Laker defense picking it up as well.
Bryant whipped the pass cross court. It was broken up. And 3-second violation is the call.
Well, how about this 10-0 run by the Los Angeles Lakers, all while Kobe Bryant has only taken 3 field goals and only has 2 points.
Celtics take a timeout with 40. Lakers have come on here in the latter stages of the second quarter. Boston scoreless for nearly 3 minutes. And this man, Kobe Bryant, has attempted only 3 shots. He's 1 of 3 from the field.
Well, remember, he didn't have an assist in that last game a couple weeks ago against Boston. And I think he's really intent on getting Gasol and Odom and Bynum involved because he watched the tape. The Lakers watched this tape yesterday. And you could see that fourth quarter, as soon as Gasol and Bynum were taken out of the game and it became a one-man show, the game was over. Boston took over, so they have to have a balanced attack tonight to win.
Rondo got it to Garnett. Garnett with the rebound and draws the foul. Kevin Garnett to the line for the first time. Foul is on Gasol, his second.
And here's what we were talking about in that last matchup between these two teams. Look at the fourth quarter numbers. No other starter even scored, and they only took 3 shots. Kobe had, what, 41 that game? And no assists. So he's intent, and you can tell Kobe always has a plan coming into every game. You can see what he's trying to accomplish. And tonight, no question, he's trying to get everybody active.
Well, there's been a few games this season where he's gone away from that triangle offense and kind of gone mano-a-mano, one-on-one, just to take everyone else out of the offense. And I think tonight, he's like, look, I got to get Powell going. I got to get Lamar. And how about off the bench? Shannon Brown has played huge for him.
This in contrast to the 29 shots he took in that last meeting. Nice move by Bryant. Signature move to draw the foul. It's on Wafer.
Number 12 on Wafer. That's his second personal team limit.
So Bryant
Bryant at the line, shooting 2.
to the line for the first time tonight. TBS weeknights, wild and nocturnal. Catch Conan in his natural habitat on TBS. New episodes of Conan weeknights at 11:10 Central, only on TBS.
For the Celtics, number 34, Paul Pierce.
There's Paul Pierce checking back in. Paul Pierce sitting out practice yesterday because of the flu and has not had the touch to this point, just 1 of 5 from the field.
You see that Ron Artest will sub in for Pau Gasol, probably to match up with Paul Pierce.
Bryant, 83% free throw shooter. Only 3 points for Bryant. His low for a half this season. Game against Cleveland, he had only 2 points in the first half. That's a low for a first half. Celtics can work it down. 6-point Boston lead. They led by as many as 15. Rondo met by the switch. Got it down low to Pierce.
So much for the defensive substitution of Artest.
Artest with a long pitch down court. Brown puts it over the shoulder. Oh, almost worked.
That's the end of the first half, fans.
He got it to Fisher. That would have counted. A lot of stuff going on for 1.7 remaining. Halftime in Boston. And the Celtics have a 53-45 lead on the Lakers. The High Point men. Gasol and Bynum for the Lakers. Ray Allen with 14, including the record-breaking three-point shots. It has been a night to remember for Ray Allen and our own Reggie Miller. Let's go to Craig with Ray.
Well, thanks, Marv. 2,561 career threes. Congratulations. Take us through the one that broke Reggie Miller's record.
It seemed like it was such a great build-up. I started the game trying to figure out, how we're going to play the game, how we're going to attack them. I didn't want to rely on the three-point ball. And then there was a point there I got a little thirsty. So the one, we got in transition. That's where I've scored most of my threes in my career. Rondo, I seen him get the ball, and all of a sudden I started salivating, and they came, and it was like at the best position I could be in, and the ball was perfect, and just all the emotions came out of me at that moment. So it was an amazing moment.
You mentioned the emotions, the moment. Tears from your wife Shannon, your mom Flo, the crowd going crazy. How do you get your game face back on to battle the Celtics here and the Lakers here in the second half?
Well, I think the emotions were great for us as a team. It gave us so much momentum. We didn't close the quarter out that well just now, but for the most part, the building has always been behind us. They're going to be behind us for the second half, so we look forward to a great second half.
All right, congratulations.
Back in Boston, the NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Celtics with a 53-45 lead on the Lakers as we head to the second half. Marv Albert along with Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager. This was a game that saw Boston up by as many as 15. Celtics able to come back. They were within 5 at one stretch. Yet Kobe Bryant, during the course of that entire first half, only 3 shot attempts.
Yeah, he was really trying to get the ball inside. He did a good job. Bynum and Gasol both with 12 points. Lakers dominating the glass, 23-15. So they made a good push there at the end of the quarter. We'll see if they can carry it through to the second half.
Well, really, it was Ray Allen providing the offense for the Boston Celtics. 14 points, 6 of 11 shooting. But very much like Kobe Bryant, it's Paul Pierce that has to get going offensively. 32 points in the first matchup, only 2 of 6 points in the first half. Got to be aggressive offensively to be the catalyst in the second half for the Celtics.
A look at the game summary presented by McDonald's. Lakers shoot 44%. Boston shooting 50% for the season, which was tops in the NBA at 51% from the field, 20 of 39 of that first half. 3 threes for the Celtics, 2 by Ray Allen, including number 2,561 to pass by. Reggie Miller is the all-time leader. Here's Fisher opening up with a three-pointer. Derek Fisher from downtown.
That's an important shot. Lakers were just 1 of 6 from 3 in the first half. They really didn't have any threat outside, and yet they were able to establish that inside game anyway. This may put them over the top just in terms of their overall offensive performance here.
Garnett not able to hit, and back comes Bryant. Bryant, Bynum, Gasol, Artest, and Fisher starting lineup in there for the Lakers as Kobe is able to hit on the floater.
How about this? Start of this third period, potentially back-to-back three-point for the Los Angeles Lakers. And here's the little dance by Kobe Bryant. Just splits the defense, and you can put the foul on Kevin Garnett or Ray Allen. I believe it goes to Ray Allen, but what once was an 8-point lead at half could be down to 2 on 2 possessions.
Kobe averaging 25.5 per game among the leading scorers. This is the closest the Lakers have been since the early moments when the game was tied at 12. Rajon Rondo rebounded by Bynum.
And what did you say to start this? They were going to give Rondo that shot all night long, and Kobe Bryant's going to go under the pick and rolls all night in the evening.
All right, here is Bryant coming out very active and going back to late in the second quarter. It's a 19-4 run by the Lakers. Remember, they reeled off the 10 straight points. They tied the game at 53. Here is Allen from 3. A rebound handled by Gasol, and the Lakers can take the lead. Gasol with a series of moves against Garnett.
I don't think Doc Rivers has even stood up to start this third period. He's going to let him play through it, a lot like Phil Jackson would do.
I was going to say, it's the Phil Jackson method. You got a veteran team, save your timeouts. They'll figure it out. Let them play on.
Pierce, beautiful move. Looked like he got hit on the way in, but he's tied it at 55. The Lakers at 36-16 began the season 13-2, then lost 4 in a row. They were able to recover by winning 8 of 9 to go to a record of 21-7. Had another win streak at 7, and here they are at 36-16. Although they have not played well recently. Bryant, they come into tonight splitting the last 6 games. They have 2 losses at home to Sacramento and the loss that we've been talking about to the Celtics.
They are 2-0 on this trip. Well, they're calling it the Grammy road trip, I guess. A 7-game trip. And I think we should have had a travel on Perkins instead. A foul on Gasol. But I think anytime you see these long, extended road trips, like the Lakers are on now, as you see the replay of Perkins finishing the play, but I think about the Spurs over the years and the rodeo road trip. It's kind of a chance for the team to galvanize, to come together, and to go on a little push. I mean, everybody's together. You're not worried about anything at home. You're not dealing with the home media at practice every day. It's just you guys, and it's a chance for this team to, I think, to make a push here heading into the spring.
Garnett lost it, particularly if you're a good team. You can make that. Did you blame the media for having?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm blaming ourselves. But here you look at the trip the last few years. They've done really well. And I mentioned San Antonio. I mean, think of the success they've had over the years in their trip, and it's been a springboard for them, no question.
Bryant going behind the back, putting moves on. Allen gets inside, and a traveling violation is called.
And I think Doc Rivers was wondering, there was no way Kobe Bryant picked up his pivot foot as he picks up a technical foul. I'm a little baffled by that one because it looked like Kobe Bryant was just walking down the middle of the floor. But here you go, behind the back by Kobe. There's he establishes pivot foot. He slips on his pivot foot and just kind of drags that foot. for the traveling call and then picks up the technical with the, what do they call it? Overt gestures towards the
Disrespecting the game.
Scott Foster called the technical. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, earlier, Steve Kerr said he could sense that this was a big game for the Lakers by the way they were in the hotel. You should have seen Kobe Bryant come out of the locker room. He was the first one out of the court tonight. At the start of the third quarter, I asked the coaching staff, the fact they only had 3 field goal attempts in the first half, they said, listen, don't worry about Kobe Bryant scoring. He's one of the greatest scorers ever to play this game. He's trying to get his teammates involved. It may not have worked as well as he had planned. He will be aggressive here in the second half, and that's the way he has come out.
Yeah, he has come out all pumped up.
Yeah, and I sensed it when we were having that club sandwich together this afternoon, at room service.
Jack of all trades, huh, Steve? I like it. We do it all here at Turner.
Rondo rejected by Bryant. Kept alive, Garnett. Shot clock at 5. Here is Rondo. Setting it up for Perkins.
Oh, man.
7-0 run for the Celtics after that 21-4 burst by the Lakers. Rondo with his 9th assist. Shot clock down to 6. Fisher bottled up. Fisher makes the recovery. Rebound Garnett. Boston back up by 5. Just over 4 minutes gone by in the third. Rondo is it right back to Garnett.
You know, we talked about Rondo. They're going to allow him to take that shot. That's going to be the one thing he's going to have to work on his game the older he gets, because he has so many opportunities when the ball is swung to him, Steve, to take those wide open shots, and he doesn't.
Gasol. Oh, he went glass. That was not the intention.
He didn't call it?
No, I don't think so. That didn't look like the right angle for a bank. Lakers needed that one. Boston really picking up its defense here the last few possessions.
Powell did give the knowing look as if to say that was what I was aiming for. And a foul is called. It's on the Lakers. It's on Fisher.
That's normally a little bit too deep on the range for a bank shot for anybody. And I think you see Garnett challenge that shot, which he does so well with those long arms. I think Gasol got lucky on that one.
It's a horse shot. It was a horse shot.
That won't count. Offensive foul. Foul on Ray Allen. That is his third. Lakers down by 3. They've trailed by as many as 15. They come off the win Monday night in Memphis. Winning the first 2 on this trip at New Orleans, at Memphis. Bryant.
Is that 4 on Ray?
Pushing foul. It is number 4 on Ray Allen.
Well, now Doc Rivers, as he brings in Von Wafer, now you're taking off your best outside long-range shooter to stretch the defense. And even though Von Wafer had a pretty good first half with 8 points, just a little nudge on the baseline as Kobe goes. Ray picks up his 4th foul.
So Wafer defending on Bryant is able to spin away and hit.
Well, not only do you have the lack of spacing offensively, but now you got a problem defensively, because Wafer, not the same type of experience and know-how that Ray Allen has defensively against Kobe.
Bryant with 7 of his 10 points here halfway through the third quarter. Good job by Bynum to slap it away from Perkins.
You know, a guy that we haven't really mentioned is Kobe Bryant. You see the post up right here against Wafer and just a little shoulder move. See the freeze move right there as Wafer going baseline? Kind of reminds you of someone you used to play against, huh?
That guy,
or play with, I should say.
23, whose number was Jordan, I think. Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, there's one guy that's missing for the Celtics that's going to be coming back after the All-Star break, who, if Ray Allen would have gotten foul trouble, as Bynum gets the pass from up top from Gasol to go. Delonte West coming back from the wrist. He could sub in for a Ray Allen.
Well, there have been many similarities in the styles of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan early in their careers, and as they have moved on, in fact, after Michael lost some of his takeoff, he advanced his game in other areas.
Well, it's the footwork. When you look at the two of them and you try to make the comparison, you see the similarities in the footwork, the ability to create space, the pivots, and body strength and athleticism, fading away. Both Michael and Kobe so good at that play where they just create space with their defender, fade away, and get the shot off. I think the two best ever, and the combination of footwork, shooting skill, and athleticism, it's just an amazing combination.
Well, I think both tirelessly working in the gym and the weight room.
Yeah, the strength is a major part of it.
But as you saw, they both have been able to make adjustments.
Well, Father Time will always adjust your game. And
if you're willing to put the work in.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice touch by Bynum. Andrew Bynum, who has struggled as of late with a bone bruise in his left knee. He's back from that knee surgery. Sat out a game last week against the Rockets.
You don't think Andrew Bynum was reading some of these trade rumors for Melo, and everyone talking about he's got to come out and prove something against the Celtics?
Davis, who just checked in, not able to hit. Lakers have taken over. They're up by 3, just under 5 remaining in the third.
Well, think about Bynum's importance to this team in this matchup. The two finals matchups between the Lakers and the Celtics. Bynum missed the first year. Celtics completely obliterated the Lakers inside. Last year he played on one leg, but was so important in that series as Kobe misses the jumper. Their dominance inside in Game 7, all those offensive rebounds, that won the series for them.
Here is Pierce. So Paul Pierce showing some signs. He now has 10 points along with 4 rebounds. The Laker lead is 1. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager from Boston. First of our doubleheader. Oh, Bryant with the bucket. It counts, and he heads to the line.
It was almost like in that first half, Kobe was like, all right, guys, have your fun. I'm going to get you the ball. But in the second half, it's going to become Black Mamba time. And with Ray Allen going to the bench with 4 fouls, there's no way that Von Wafer is going to be able to handle him one-on-one, especially up top with Kobe facing the basket.
Wafer on the foul, his third. Bryant looking for point number 13.
And depth is undoubtedly an issue here for Boston. Ray Allen with the 4 fouls, but also Nate Robinson injured, not coming back. So only 4 guys remaining on that Boston bench. 2 rookies who weren't expected to play. Garnett knocks down the jumper. So this is a little bit of a battle of attrition for Boston tonight.
In the second of our doubleheader, Red Hot Dallas playing at Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets. Here is Bryant, tipped out of bounds, last touched by the Celtics. How about the Mavericks? 10 straight wins. That's the longest active winning streak. The officials talking it over. Will they change the call? Yes, they do. Yeah. Last touch by the Lakers. It'll be Boston ball. Dallas has also won 5 straight on the road.
That's a good call.
Yeah, how about Dallas? Once Caron Butler went down, everybody kind of thought they would go south, but they're playing at a very high level.
We'll go out and sign Peja Stojakovic, another shooter. In fact, number 4 on the all-time.
There you go.
We got everyone in tonight. Ray, myself, Jason Kidd, and Peja.
We're all in attendance. Bynum able to snatch that rebound. Kevin Harlan and Kevin McHale will have it for you following the Lakers and the Celtics. Garnett landing on the lap of assistant coach Armand Hill.
One of the most important things for most athletes, and I think parents in general, is that we can't give a kid a chance to grow up and have success in their lives. There's an opportunity to be able to point a kid in the right direction. We want the young kids to make America and the world better, so it definitely is important for us to make sure that we do guide our youth. I'm Ray Allen of the Boston Celtics. Enjoy the rest of the game.
And it has been a memorable night for Ray Allen, taking over as the NBA's all-time three-point leader, and he will take part in the three-point shootout All-Star Weekend for the 5th time in his career. He won once back in 2001. Bryant is off, rebounded by Perkins. Now, Steve, you won it in what, 97?
97.
Reggie, you've been in
it 5 times. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
That would mean a what? Second place finish?
Second twice.
Pierce thought he was fouled by Artest. Kept alive by Rondo. Wafer. 3-point attempt, but rebounded out to Pierce. Yes, that's a 3 for Paul Pierce, who won the three-point shootout last season, beating out Stephen Curry of Golden State. And as the defending champ, he will be facing his teammate Ray Allen.
I think there was some bragging rights going on when Paul came back with the trophy. Ray, understanding he thinks he's the best shooter in the league. That's what's going on.
And this is a big one, because with Ray Allen in foul trouble, the Boston bench depleted. Pierce suffering from the flu, missed practice yesterday. He needs to get going. Boston needs his scoring here in the second half.
Off that lob, Bryant was fouled by Wafer, so Wafer picked up his 4th. Kobe now 4 of 5 at the line as we check out the upcoming national TV schedule. Tomorrow night, ESPN, it'll be the Lakers and the Knicks from the Garden. Knicks cooling off after that fast start. And then Phoenix at Utah. Ty Corbin making his debut as the head coach of the Jazz. And that surprising move earlier today, Jerry Sloan resigning as head coach. ABC Sunday, Miami at Boston, Lakers at Orlando.
Will that be strange to look down on the sidelines and not see Jerry Sloan tomorrow night? That'll be crazy.
Good job kept alive by Rondo, then he's tripped up by Odom. And this is certainly the end of an era, 23 seasons with great success in Utah. 3rd all-time, 1,221 career victories, 2 appearances in the NBA Finals. Unfortunately for Jerry and the Jazz, they went up against Michael and the Bulls.
Yeah, and I hope Ty Corbin keeps that system they run, that UCLA offense, all that screening and ball movement on the weak side, player movement on the weak side, I should say. It's a very unique style these days of playing.
I always felt when you played against the Utah Jazz, you felt like you were in a boxing match the next day, because there was so much banging, running, hitting, back screens. You had to get in the ice tub, and you always knew you were in a very physical game when you played the Utah Jazz.
Foul on Perkins. Boston is now over the foul limit, and Pau Gasol will go to the line. I mentioned the Knicks playing at home tomorrow night against these Lakers out in LA. Lakers beat the Knicks by 22, and that game will be followed by contests at Orlando, Charlotte, and Cleveland, and the Lakers return home after the All-Star break.
I would imagine if you want to catch the Lakers on a weird schedule, it's the night after the game in Boston. I mean, they're going to expend a lot of emotion here. They'll arrive in New York pretty late tonight. Knicks, they got a chance. I mean, they should have an emotional advantage tomorrow night.
Pierce rebounded by Odom. Just under a minute and a half to play in the 3rd. Pierce tried to draw the foul. Artest got it inside, and the foul is called on Wafer. Got caught on a mismatch with Gasol. That's number 5 on Wafer.
I thought Gasol could have just gone up quickly and dunked this thing, and maybe a charge that didn't get called. You see, Gasol kind of hesitates, almost like he wants to throw it down harder, and I don't think he sensed that Wafer was behind him. Looked like a clean block by Wafer. Crowd obviously agrees.
Gasol now 4 of 5 at the line. He has 18 points, and Doc Rivers going deep into his bench. Not much available here tonight, and the rookie Avery Bradley, 1st-round draft pick out of Texas. Just up from the D-League, appearing in only his 15th NBA game.
Very raw offensively. So you're talking about a very solid on-the-ball defender. Aggressive, taking the basketball to the hole.
Rondo way off.
And you better believe the Lakers are going to pack the paint now with Rondo and Bradley on the perimeter. LA will be begging those two guys to make outside shots.
Bryant sets it up for Gasol. The tip by Odom. Lakers have their biggest lead. Looks like Odom comes up hobbling.
Yeah, Odom and Gasol bumped heads after the tip-in by Lamar Odom. It looked like there's blood coming down on the head of Lamar Odom. But after the tip-in, when they were getting ready to run back, it almost like they collided and bumped heads. There's the tip-in by Odom. And as he's turning to run back, right into the jaw of Pau Gasol.
And I'll tell you, this is dangerous. Remember, this happened earlier in the year with David Lee when, I can't remember who he bumped into, but he got a tooth that went into his arm and then an infection.
Wilson Chandler.
It was Wilson Chandler, that's right. And so you hope for Odom's sake that it wasn't Gasol's tooth, because that's a very scary thing medically to have to deal with.
Gary Vitti, the athletic trainer for the Lakers, checking out Lamar Odom.
And Chip Schaefer, the assistant athletic trainer, talking to Gasol. I'm guessing that's what he's asking him.
Probably asking him, when's the last time he had a tetanus shot? Probably.
Well, you take a look. It's just one of those plays. Odom turning to get back on defense. And Gasol looking at the offensive board, and it looks like it's his jaw.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was his tooth.
No, but meanwhile, Odom is probably going to need stitches, judging by the cut. But of course, I shouldn't be making that judgment. Maybe he'll get stereo.
It's not even a mark on Pau Gasol. What is he, Iron Man or something?
Well,
are you kidding me?
They don't have a choice anyway. I mean, they don't have another big man. Bynum will come back in, and this is a blow for the Lakers because they were starting to play well. Odom making a nice play there. Lakers in a groove. And so this changes things a little bit.
Perkins has not spent much time at the line. It's only his 9th game of the season and shooting at 44% at the foul line. He was fouled by Artest. It's a 4-point Laker lead. We're final minute, 3rd quarter.
Talking about Pau Gasol being soft. Taking out his own player, cutting them possibly stitches.
Good job by Rondo, and it was deflected out. Last touch by Rondo. He was able to get his hand on that dribble. As they continue to check out Lamar Odom.
In the first game, didn't he give Kevin Garnett a few stitches? Inadvertent elbow to the noggin.
I think that was Gasol right on a follow through.
Traveling violation called on Bryant.
I know the Lakers don't play a lot of zone, but with this matchup, I might go zone right now. Here's the play you were talking about. Watch Gasol's left elbow inadvertently catching Gasol's head. And Garnett had to go and get stitches. But look at this lineup right now. Very little shooting other than Paul Pierce. So you got to pack it in. I don't know why they would extend their defense right now if you're LA.
Open shot for Davis. Final seconds, 3rd quarter, down to 5, down to 3. Bryant called for the push-off. Offensive foul on Kobe.
That is his 2nd personal foul.
Kobe Bryant with the push-off with that left hand. Offensive foul.
Davis from center court to end the 3rd quarter. So after 3, it's the Lakers 72 and the Celtics 68. As we mentioned at the start of the telecast, this a long time round.
Welcome back to Boston. It's time for the Ford Coaches Corner. I'm here with Doc Rivers. Lamar Odom getting stitches in the top of his head. He will be back, but your team is depleted by injuries and also foul trouble. How do you work the rotation in the fourth quarter?
Well, whoever's not in foul trouble, we're going to have to play right now. We'll be all right. I mean, we had to get through this quarter with all the fouls. We did that, obviously raising a little bit of foul trouble. Got to get Paul Blow, but we just have to figure it out right now.
We didn't expect to see Avery Bradley tonight. He's been spending most of his time in the D-League. You had to put him in. What trust do you have in a guy like that?
Well, he can defend. And so, you know, what we saw all our guys, do your job. That's his role, is to be a defensive player, and that's the way we're going to play him.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Harv.
Boston shot only 6 for 23 from the field in the third quarter. Lakers outscored the Celtics 27-15. Lakers at 10 of 17 from the floor, and they lead it 72-68 as this fourth quarter is underway. Ray Allen is back, as is Steve Blake, trying to defend. Tip missed by Rondo.
I remember the recent matchup between these two teams. Lakers got destroyed in the fourth quarter. And Kobe Bryant on the bench to start here. We'll see if the Lakers can get any offense going without him.
Odom for three. Apparently Lamar is all right after taking that shot.
Remember that first period when he came in, I think he rushed 3 shots in a row, and I think he's really settled himself down in this second half.
7 points, 7 rebounds for Odom. 7-point lead for the Lakers. Davis. Battle for the loose ball. Blake able to shovel it to Artest, and Perkins is hurt. Back on his feet, holding his knee for a moment. Now Perkins defending on Bynum. Bynum backing his way. Wow. Oh, the tip by Shannon Brown.
I didn't think he had any chance at that thing.
I thought for sure Ray Allen had that rebound, and out of nowhere came Shannon Brown.
If they can buy a couple minutes here with Kobe on the bench and even extend the lead, that's huge.
Biggest lead of the night for the Lakers. Lakers were down by 15. They were down 49-34. Perkins could not convert. Since that 15-point lead, Lakers have outscored Boston 43-19. Kobe Bryant coming out strong in the third quarter after attempting only 3 shots, just 1 of 3 in the first half. Here's Brown, way off. Deflected out, last touch by Perkins of the Celtics.
See, I think Lakers have to keep going inside because this is the kind of thing that happens. Bynum on the jump hook takes Perkins off the glass. That frees up Shannon Brown for the offensive board. And I think Perkins is tired. He's played 30-plus minutes tonight, coming off that long-term injury, just now getting back into shape. I think they've got to attack him inside.
Kevin Garnett is back, replacing Big Baby Davis. 1 on the shot clock. Too late. 24-second violation.
And I think that's why Doc Rivers inserted Kevin Garnett back into the lineup, understanding that Kendrick Perkins is tired. You need some more size on there to help on the defensive glass.
Rondo and Allen at the guards. Perkins, Garnett, and Pierce up front. So Doc Rivers back to his starting lineup. Allen playing with the 4 fouls. Nice pass. Perkins wide open.
That's what he should have done the previous play. You got to go to the basket hard and make them foul you. I thought he rolled right there perfectly with a nice finish. Kevin Garnett's trying to bring this faithful Boston crowd to their feet.
Celtics have missed their 10 previous shots. Odom is pushed. Foul committed by Perkins.
Well, big for big rotation here. Odom is supposed to stay with the switch on Perkins, and he's anxious to get out to Kevin Garnett because Garnett, he's worried about Garnett's jump shooting ability, but he's got to trust that Bynum will get back there and stay with the man down low.
That was number 4 on Perkins. Phil Jackson has a backcourt of Blake and Brown. Odom with the step. Odom is stopped by Perkins, but a foul. That's 5 on Perkins.
I have a feeling we may see, well, as Big Baby comes in, but we might see a Luke Herringody sighting here pretty soon with the thin bench of the Boston Celtics. Nice move here by Lamar Odom. Just going to the body of Glenn Davis. And this is the attack mode you want to see Lamar Odom in.
Yeah, Perkins not happy with the call, and I don't blame him. I thought that was a good play, but this is what happens when you become the aggressor. You know that, Reggie. I mean, you see the foul trouble for Boston. The Lakers have taken the fight to Boston in the second half, and when that happens, the referees sense that. You end up getting the benefit of the doubt.
Lakers at 36-16. They have won 3 of the last 4 following the 2 straight losses at home to Sacramento and Boston. And prior to that rocky stretch, they had won 10 of 12. Lakers do have the 3rd best record in the West. Davis fouled by Odom. Lakers behind San Antonio and Dallas. Back in Boston, tonight's Battle Stat presented by Battle Los Angeles in theaters March 11th. And what stands out? Points in the paint. Lakers with 42, Celtics 24.
Boston's #1 in the NBA defensively in terms of points in the paint allowed. Only 35 per game. So the impact of Bynum and Gasol and the direction from Kobe in the first half of making sure they pounded the ball inside to establish that, I think that opened up the game for the Lakers.
And that's why I think all this talk about Carmelo and the whole Los Angeles Lakers, it was a mirage, because you've got Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, and Paul Gasol. The reason why they're back-to-back NBA champions is because of their size, rebounding and defending the paint. And if you give up Andrew Bynum you're getting better scoring-wise, but we all know come playoff time, it's defense that wins it.
Here's the lob, nicely done. Shannon Brown getting it to Lamar Odom. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Phil Jackson said there was no truth to the report of a Bynum-involved deal with Denver for Carmelo Anthony. Phil, though, has been unhappy as Allen fires and hits his 3rd three of the game, adding to that NBA record.
Extending his lead over Reggie Miller.
Yes.
Wow.
But Phil has not been happy with Bynum's conditioning, and he feels that Bynum has not been active enough, although he has played well here tonight.
Well, his potential is still untapped, as Blake can't get the runner to go, but there's that size we talked about, but Bynum unable to control the rebound. But Bynum is so intriguing because he's only about halfway where he could be. Think how many or how few low-post young players there are in the NBA these days. I can't think of any.
Can he stay healthy? That's the key. Brittle knees.
Not only is he back from the knee surgery, has a bruise on his left knee, which has hampered him. What a move by Pierce. Two-handed layup by Paul Pierce.
And this is why Boston is a championship team. The fight, the will to get back in it on a night when things haven't gone their way.
Celtics are within 3. Lead pass, Shannon Brown able to play a very low percentage pass.
Second time they've beaten the Celtics on that pinch post backdoor pass in the last few possessions.
Garnett, Bynum rebounds. So the numbers for Bynum: 16 points, 8 rebounds in his 32 minutes. Bynum, Artest, and Odom up front. Blake and Brown in the backcourt. Allen nearly picked it off. One on the shot clock. Odom rebounded by Davis.
And if you're Andrew Bynum, that's something you're going to have to work on your game. You've got a smaller defender on you. You've got to back him down and use your size for that jump hook.
Rondo, he held back, did not want to get rejected by Bynum, and then somehow was able to twist his way.
And how about the trust that Phil Jackson is showing in this unit? Kobe Bryant still on the floor, or on the bench. Not for long, I'm sure, but this second unit has done an excellent job here in the fourth quarter.
Bynum facing the double. Here's Brown with the fadeaway. The shot clock running down. Rondo accelerates. Pierce passed on a three. Allen off the head fake. Comes to Garnett. Pierce for three. That would have tied it.
Now Kevin Garnett, when he got that rebound chip to him, he should have went up right there. I thought he could have got fouled underneath.
Blake gets it inside. Rebounded by Davis. Doc Rivers calling it out as we come up on 5 minutes to play in the fourth. Deflected out, last touch by the Lakers.
Rondo off.
A 21-degree night here in New England as we welcome you back. The NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Here comes Kobe Bryant after sitting out the first 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. 12 of his 15 points scored in the third. He has 15 points, 5 rebounds, 8 on the shot clock as we resume. 3-point Laker lead. Garnett lost it, stripped by Odom.
Nice hands there by Lamar Odom. All ball on Kevin Garnett.
Bryant backing his way on Allen. Ray Allen playing with the 4 personal fouls.
This game is teed up perfectly for Kobe. You know, everybody's played well for LA. There's been all this talk about the Lakers. We even mentioned it earlier in the telecast. 1-6 against the top teams in the league, lacking a really big statement win this season. Well, this is it tonight. Everything's teed up. Kobe just rested for 7 minutes. Lakers playing well. This is a game they should win.
Garnett with a crossover move. And as Davis caught of the rebound, foul is called. It's on the Lakers. It's on Bryant, it's third.
Well, Steve, you talked about 7 minutes of rest on the bench, which was really almost like 15, 20 minutes to start that fourth period. And it's almost that same go-to move that he shot over Von Wafer earlier with a little shoulder shrug, fadeaway.
Second team foul on the Lakers. Celtics also with just 2. Shot clock to 5. Allen spinning Fisher. Odom with the rebound.
Offensively, Ray has really struggled since that first half. Fisher and Blake have done a good job of staying attached to him.
I wonder if the emotion of breaking the record and the celebration that followed as Kobe knocks down another jump shot. You wonder if that took a little something out of Ray.
86-79 Lakers. Trying to make it 3 out of 3 on this 7-game road trip. Pierce lost the dribble. And a tripping foul on Rondo.
See how fast Ron Artest's hands are. And that's why the former Defensive Player of the Year is on this team and plays in fourth periods. When you're going against a very efficient fourth quarter score in Paul Pierce. I mean, the hands by Ron Artest to come up with that steal.
And I think we have to credit the Laker defense as a whole tonight. Much maligned in recent weeks. They've played well the last couple of games, but they have really shut down Boston here in the second half.
Bryant on the drive. Kobe Bryant. Going right at Glenn Davis. Boston takes a timeout, so Bryant now has 21 points.
We got time. We don't need to panic. We don't need hero shots. We don't need hero plays. We got time.
Well, it's down to 3 minutes and 11 seconds and an 88-79 lead for the Lakers, who have played particularly well in fourth quarters the last 2 games against New Orleans and Memphis. Garnett is off, and a foul is called. It's on the Lakers. Loose ball foul is charged to Fisher. That is his third. It is a non-shooting foul.
Now, you mentioned the New Orleans game, the Memphis game. Terrific fourth quarter defense for the Lakers. We're seeing it again here tonight, so maybe they're responding to their critics a little bit, Reggie.
Well, you're going to wonder where the offense is going to come for the Boston Celtics. This is the team that's the best shooting team in the NBA. As Rondo gets an 18-footer to go. They were shooting 51% at half. In the second half, 10 of 38, only 26%.
And you usually do not see 50% shooting teams these days. They're the only one in the league this season. Here is Bryant on a fadeaway. Rondo on it, and he is run into by Gasol.
And that's the old NBA flop call. You know, Gasol really didn't do anything, but Rondo puts him in a position where he has to make the call. And you look at the difference between January 30th and tonight. No question. Great defense from LA.
That was the first meeting at Staples in LA. Hey! Davis, he's able to squeeze it on a power move. So here are the Celtics back within 5.
And Doc Rivers was exactly right. He said, we got time. And you look up at the clock and, wow, there's a lot of basketball to be played. That's why Doc is who he is. Keeps his team under control.
Pierce with the steal. Rondo, can he save it? No. The ball back to the Lakers.
Well, he had to steal, and he thought Rondo, he was going to try to give him a lead pass so he could run under it. Just a little bit too strong by Paul Pierce. But you're right, there's plenty of time. But on the other hand, there is a closer in yellow by the name of Kobe Bryant, who, as we talked about, has knocked down his last 3 shots.
Allen is on Bryant. Bryant sets it up for Gasol. Beautiful spin move along the baseline. So Pau Gasol has 20. Kobe Bryant with his 4th assist. Boston down by 7. Garnett for Rondo. He draws the foul.
Lakers playing 4-on-5 again with Rondo just asking him to shoot, but eventually Rondo's great cut leads to this hoop. But how about this play? Boston comes with the double from Kevin Garnett, and Kobe finds that passing angle along the baseline. Gasol makes himself available, and there's the length of the Lakers we talk about.
Rondo only a 56% free throw shooter.
Only one other guard in NBA history who has shot 51% from the field and 50% from the free throw line.
This sounds like a Stevie Wonder.
It should have been. Mike McGee, the former Laker guard, 83-84 season.
That's a random stat.
Yes, that's a good one.
It's a really good one.
The only other guard to shoot 50% from the field and 50% from the free throw line. Since this is a historic night,
that's right.
We're just throwing it out.
Bryant not able to hit the three-point attempt. Odom with the hustle gets to it, and they have a new shot clock. That's a factoid I may use at home.
There you go. Somewhere Mike McGee is saying, are you kidding me?
Shot clock out of 5. Oh, what a move by Bryant. Yes.
Closer.
A programming reminder coming up next following the Lakers and the Celtics game 2 of our doubleheader, Dallas and Denver. Kevin Harlan, Kevin McHale will have it for you, followed by Inside the NBA with Ernie, Kenny, and Charles. NBA TV Saturday starting at 6:30 East time. It's Charlotte and Atlanta. You can go to NBA.com/fan night. Vote for the matchup you want to watch on Tuesday, February the 15th. And voting ends at midnight. Boston in possession, time running out. Lakers have come back from a 15-point deficit. Allen was indicated as a three, but he had a foot on the line. And Gasol is fouled by Pierce.
This is a big win for the Lakers. You know, we talked so much tonight about their struggles in big games against the best teams. And you see Boston will fall further behind the Spurs, and that's important in case those two teams meet in the finals for home court implications. Lakers now with the 5th best record in the league, but I think this was a very important game for LA, probably more so for the Lakers than for Boston.
And you know, people will still talk because they're going to say the Celtics were banged up, you know, without both O'Neals, foul trouble. But this is a good signature win for the Lakers.
Odom with a 3rd try. He thought he was hit. Final seconds, Allen to the rim. Ray Allen with 20 points. High man for the Celtics. How about the second half shooting for Boston? 13 of 43 from the field after that, as you mentioned, Reggie, the 50% in the first half.
Great defense, and the depth became a factor for Boston.
So they get a split of the season series. Lakers go to 37-16. They have now won 4 of their last 5. Boston dropping to 38-14 and now in a tie with Miami for best record in the East. Celtics have lost 3 of the last 4, only their 5th loss in 28 games here at home. Let's go to Craig with Kobe Bryant.
Well, Kobe, down 15 to the Celtics in Boston. You come back to win. How important was this victory for you guys?
Well, you know, it was important. We needed to prove to ourselves that we can come in this hostile environment and win. You know, despite not having beaten any of the top teams.
As one who's put his name into the record books, what was your impression of the fact that Ray Allen tonight passed Reggie Miller for the most threes in the league history?
It's an unbelievable accomplishment. I mean, it's you know, it's a testament to all the hard work that he's put in, and you know, I'm proud of him. I mean, we came in the league at the same time, and it's you know, it's great to see how much he's developed, and that's just an unbelievable record.
All right, thank you very much. Now back to you, Marv.
Craig, yes, a memorable night for Ray Allen, and for the Lakers, a significant victory as they defeat the Celtics here in Boston, 92-86. Kobe Bryant, 23 points at the big finish. 9 of 17 overall from the field. Pau Gasol finished with 20. Thanks to our producer, Scott Cockerell, director Bernardo Loa, statistician Brian Taylor. Coming up, the Mavericks and the Nuggets. After a quick break, we take you to Kevin Harlan in Denver.